e ringraziare Elon Musk.
Italian Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni claiming to earn huge sums of money with an app created by Elon Musk. Trump posing with young black voters in the US. And an Indian politician giving speeches 6 years after his death. You guessed it right. All of these are fake and have been generated with the help of artificial intelligence. This year, when more than 40% of the world's population are being called to the polls, AI-generated fake content is shaping up to be one of the biggest threats to democracy.
Those fakes are becoming increasingly convincing.
This information can be created on a massive scale.
AI systems can be used to basically manipulate democracy.
According to the World Economic Forum Risk Survey, disinformation and misinformation are the most severe global risks this year. AI-generated content, especially deepfake videos and cloned voices, are taking that risk even further. In this video, we explore how artificial intelligence can influence elections and what we can do about it. We'll be focusing on 3 major elections in India, the United States and in Europe. Let's take a closer look at India first. This is a message by M. Karunanidhi, one of India's most prominent political figures in its post-independence history. In January 2024, he apparently delivered a speech praising his son, now the leader of his father's party, for his work during the COVID-19 pandemic.
கொரோனா கொடுந்தொற்று காலத்தில் மக்களின் பயக்குரல் கேட்ட திசை நோக்கி ஓடோடி சென்ற நம் முதல்வர் உயிர் காக்க போராடியதை நாடும் அறியும் நாங்களும் அறிவோம்.
But there's a twist. Karunanidhi died in 2018, long before the COVID-19 pandemic. This video was created with AI software. You can tell by looking at his sunglasses. They look unrealistically slick, and there's a telltale flicker on either side. That's the first clue that the video was manipulated with AI. What's more, Karunanidhi was unable to speak when he died at the age of 94. The video, however, shows a much younger, healthier man with no speech impairment. The creator of this particular video walked us through the process.
The idea is, which age do I want to recreate the person in? Okay, and do I want to recreate exactly like the person is, or should I make an alteration? So I can change costumes, we can make them hip, we can change the accents. These are all possible. In theory, all are possible.
Karunanidhi's party believes that the late politician is still able to pull crowds, even after his death. Karunanidhi's party has used his AI avatar several times in the past month. Anyone with a smartphone or computer can clone human voices and produce realistic-looking images, videos and audio in just a few seconds.
These tools are not just in the hands of sort of very rich nation states anymore, but that everybody can produce very convincing AI-generated content, at essentially no costs.
AI can construct images of political candidates appearing to do something totally out of character or something they never did in real life. This can damage their public image and mislead voters. Such manipulation can not only sway voters' opinions, but also sow seeds of doubt, making voters feel they can't trust anything they see online.
The problem is this is a multinational phenomenon, but the nation state is the best one equipped to try to deal with this, and that has not been happening. To me, it's absurd that these systems should be released upon the world and even applied to things like elections without first and foremost ensuring that there are rules placed there to ensure that these systems do not abuse democracy.
Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi can now deliver his speeches in different languages, or so it would seem.
আমার প্রত্যেকটা মুহূর্তের খবর দেশ রাখে నా ప్రతి క్షణానికి సంబంధించిన సమాచారం దేశానికి తెలుసు
ನನ್ನ ಪ್ರತಿ ಕಣ ಕಣದಲ್ಲೂ ದೇಶಭಕ್ತಿ ತುಂಬಿಕೊಂಡಿದೆ.
His speeches are being translated and dubbed in 8 Indian languages, all in real time with the help of AI. But what if there is a mistake in the translation? What if that mistake affects a politically sensitive issue? It's dangerous when voters can't be sure whether they are listening to a real politician or an AI-generated version. The Indian government told online platforms providing AI tools that their services should not generate anything threatened the integrity of the electoral process. Companies have also been requested to label AI-generated content with a unique code. This could help identify sources of misinformation.
I think we should think about innovation not just as creating a new technology that nobody even really knows how it works and there's no transparency with it. Innovation also involves things like thinking about policy, thinking about protecting democracy, thinking about protecting workers, thinking about protecting people all around the planet. That's innovation also.
India is witnessing a month-and-a-half-long election marathon, but it's not the only country heading to the polls. In June, more than 400 million people are eligible to vote for members of the European Parliament. Let's take a closer look, because some deepfakes targeting European politicians have already been released. This video circulating online appears to show French President Emmanuel Macron dancing at a nightclub. One user wrote online, French President Emmanuel Macron before he entered politics, dancing in gay clubs, wearing women's clothing, bras, even devil horns. This is who leads a country. The video is fake. We reverse searched images from the video and found the original clips of clubgoers in the 1980s. As you can see here, Macron's face was superimposed onto the heads of various dancers with the help of AI. At the time, Macron would have been between 3 and 12 years old, a bit too young for a nightclub. According to the European Digital Media Observatory, AI-generated content poses a big risk ahead of elections, especially when it comes to disinformation campaigns. It can be used to discredit politicians, like in the case of Macron, or to attack the integrity of the democratic process, like in Slovakia in 2023. Days before Slovakia's election was set to determine who will lead the country, an audio recording spread across social media.
Koľko vám to dá hlasov? Neviem to odhadnúť, lebo podstatná je účasť tých ľudí. V dezolátskych krajoch je veľká pravda.
It sounded like one of the lead candidates, Michal Šimečka, boasting about how he would rig the election in favor of his party.
Do you think does this sound like you?
It does sound like me.
But the audio was an AI-generated fake. We uploaded the audio to truemedia.org, an AI detection website. The result? Highly suspicious. That's the first hint that something isn't quite right. You can also spot inconsistencies when you listen to the audio. What stands out most is how unnatural the voices sound. They have an unsteady intonation and make unnatural pauses. Meanwhile, natural pauses, such as when speakers cough or clear their throat, are nowhere to be found. And the background noise seems a little bit too loud.
Zase príde niekto a nahádže listky priamo? Tým sa netráp. Proste toto je už vyriešené.
Šimečka lost the election. And we can't say for sure whether or not the fake recording played a role in that. Some surely thought it was real.
No one really expected audio to be the problem. Everybody thought it would be images or video, and then it was an audio file, and that kind of sort of like fell through, all sort of like monitoring mechanisms that were put into place beforehand.
Now, experts have warned of a mass spread of a pro-Russian propaganda campaign ahead of the European elections. They believe the campaigns could undermine voters' faith in European democracy.
They try to justify the invasion of Ukraine, and also they deny massacres committed in the war, or try to attack Ukrainian refugees and hinder the inclusion in European countries. And also they attack European politicians such as Scholz, Macron, or Zelensky.
To put a stop to the potential misuse of AI and to protect the European elections from disinformation, the EU has passed the AI Act. Worldwide, this law is the first of its kind. In the future, all online providers using AI, such as ChatGPT, image editing programs and even social media, must transparently disclose whenever text, images or videos have been produced with AI. In other words, AI-generated content must be clearly labeled.
The law can be a very good ally in the fight against disinformation because it will force the identification of AI-generated content as such. And this is a very big step.
The act is expected to come into force in 2026, so a little too late for this year's elections. But in other parts of the world, policymakers have also begun to realize that regulating AI is essential, especially when decisive elections are coming up, like in the United States. In November, the US is going to witness a rematch between incumbent President Joe Biden and former President Donald Trump. Already, AI-generated fakes are in circulation, manipulating voters.
It's important that you save your vote for the November election. Voting this Tuesday only enables the Republicans in their quest to elect Donald Trump again. Your vote makes a difference in November, not this Tuesday.
This robocall was asking voters to refrain from casting their votes in the New Hampshire primary elections and save it for the November presidential elections. The voice sounds like that of President Biden, but it's not. The robocall was generated with the help of AI. Not only that, the claims made in the call were also untrue. US citizens are allowed to cast their votes in both the primaries and the presidential elections, of course. There is no such thing as saving a vote. The call was meant to prevent people from voting in the primaries. The White House has confirmed that the call was not authentic. Unlike AI-generated images and videos, fake audios usually have a very few technical glitches. If the source material is good, it's possible to generate fake but realistic-sounding audio with sophisticated software. This could set a dangerous precedent.
In the case of audio, in many instances, the sound is indistinguishable from a real person, from the real person being portrayed.
AI-generated voices in robocalls were banned following the incident. The US regulator, the FCC, or Federal Communications Commission, said that they could deceive voters. Trump's election campaign could add another layer of deception. He's already been accused of spreading wrong information on multiple crucial accounts during his term as president, most notably leading up to the January 6th insurrection. He's also labeled mainstream media sources as fake news.
You are fake news. Fake news. It's fake, phony, fake. Fake news.
This just in, we can now call the 2024 presidential race for Joe Biden.
The Republican Party released this attack ad last year. Claiming to show possible consequences of Joe Biden's re-election, it depicts war, economic downfall, and an endless line of migrants entering the country. The dark images were all created with AI. If you look closely, you can see that Joe Biden's and Kamala Harris' skin looks too smooth to be true. Both look like more wax figures than human beings. That's just one clue that the image is AI generated. Also, this skyscraper stands out at an odd angle.
Overall, the only thing that will be advanced is some sense of chaos and the undermining of social trust. If people increasingly think they can't believe what they see and hear with their own eyes and ears.
But AI can also help us detect deepfakes and other forms of disinformation.
A lot of fact-checking organizations and some projects in the frame of the European Union are working in using AI to develop better technologies to fight disinformation, to flag, to monitor, to label, to search.
Take AI detectors, for example. They are designed to recognize certain patterns in text, videos or images that could indicate that the content is fake. Some companies like Nuanced are already training their algorithms to detect AI-generated content with the help of, you guessed it, more AI. But today's AI detectors are not always accurate and can only be used as a first step in investigations. Ahead of the many elections around the world this year, platforms and tech companies such as OpenAI, TikTok and Meta signed an accord to combat AI disinformation. Meta is planning to label all AI content starting this May. Social media platforms and tech companies are not the only ones who need to take responsibility, experts say.
The technological solution by itself is not an adequate response. At the end of the day, we need government to act.
I think we have to develop something that can be called AI literacy, where people really know everything that they see online can be manipulated, can be fake.
And we as social media users also have to take some responsibility. With the rise of artificial intelligence, there's one thing we can all do. Don't trust everything you see and always double-check content before sharing. So have you come across any AI fakes that could affect elections or politics in your country? Let us know in the comment section below or email us at factchecking@dw.com.